What's up? Welcome back to another video. This time, another episode of Talking WWE. It's been a long time since I've done a video like this. I think the last one I did was about WrestleMania, which I like to call Fuck You Mania, because that's pretty much what it was. It was Vince and Triple H pretty much giving the middle finger to the fans, saying, fuck you, you don't get what you want for WrestleMania, and you're gonna like it. And I didn't like it. So, I kind of didn't really do videos on other WWE pay-per-views afterwards. And I think I remember saying, like, I'm done completely. But hey, I like wrestling. I just bought some, I picked up some wrestling DVDs fairly recently. And, for, like, the NWO and some Hulk Hogan stuff. And so I have a soft spot for WWE, and when it's done right, it's really entertaining. It's a lot of fun. But when it's done wrong, it's just about as boring and just about as lame as any other shitty movie. Because, but even more frustrating because these are real, these aren't, they kind of are actors, but in a way, these are people who are going putting their bodies on the line for entertainment, and sometimes they get screwed over by bad booking, or just the match isn't as good as it could be, or the two wrestlers aren't really good fits for one another, or whatever. So, but regardless, I still been keeping track of what's going on in WWE. I watched part of Money in the Bank. I watched the ladder match, and I also watched the Cena uh, AJ Styles fight, wrestling. The Cena AJ Styles match, where the club came in and helped AJ get the pin. So, and I watched YouTube. I watched WWE's YouTube channel where they have condensed clips of results and stuff from Raw and SmackDown and other pay-per-views. So I pretty much, and I always make sure to see who won at whatever pay-per-view. So I do keep up with things. I just haven't really decided to make that many videos about it because I'm more of like a channel who talks about movies and stuff like that. But it's kind of fun to talk about different stuff, and it's fun to talk about wrestling. And so I thought at least I would do pay-per-view reviews of the big main pay-per-views. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. And this is SummerSlam. This is my thoughts on SummerSlam. So hope you guys enjoy it. There's gonna be a lot of ranting here because I thought this was a pretty shitty show, to be honest. Like I called WrestleMania "Fuck You Mania." This might as well be "Fuck You in the Ass with No Lube" Slam, because that's really what it feels like. There's two matches out of 10 matches on the main card. I mean, two out of 10 matches that are on the main card that I liked. That's a 20% success rate. That's an epic fail. That's an F. But anyway, I'll get to why I feel that way soon enough. So anyway, the first match, after the preliminary matches, which I didn't really give a shit about and didn't bother watching, um, you have a tag team matchup between Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus the new tag team of Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, which is known as Jericho. And I like Chris Jericho. I like Kevin Owens. Big Cass and Enzo, I've really started to enjoy, especially Enzo. He's a great talker, and they have good chemistry with one another. And this match it was all right. Actually, no, I would say it was pretty forgettable. It would have been better for, like, if it was on Raw or SmackDown, it'd probably be one of the highlights of the night. But on a pay-per-view on SummerSlam, it was kind of, I don't know, it wasn't very spectacular. It wasn't spectacular enough to be a SummerSlam match, at least for me anyway. And so, and the ending was just the whole show starts out with an example of bad booking, and it just gets worse from there. And it's really too bad. For some reason, unbeknownst to me and probably everyone else in the arena or watching at home, uh, Jericho, the team of Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, get the pin and beat Kevin Owens, I mean, they don't beat themselves. They beat Enzo and Big Cass, which I don't understand why they got put over. They are just a new team. They're the heel group. I like Kevin Owens. He was great doing his sort of imitating Enzo on the ring apron, and him and Jericho are a good team. And I do enjoy both wrestlers a lot, but I really think Enzo and Cass needed the win more, and it was in their hometown. At least it was in, not just their hometown, but it was in their, it was in New York City, and I think that's where Big Cass is from. Is Brooklyn, so it was in Brooklyn, uh, Big Cass's hometown, and this tag team is super over with the crowd and with the fan base, and you give the win at SummerSlam to the heel team that just got together recently. That doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It's a very it was a real head scratcher. I was just like, what? I think the booker, I think the guy who booked this show is SAWFT. Soft. But anyway, it's just really, really, it's just thinking about this booking just aggravates me. It annoys the hell out of me because this could be not the best show ever, but the show would be a lot better if it had better booking that wasn't piss poor. So yeah, the match itself was meh, but really the main thing that made it pretty shit was the booking. I have no reason to watch this match again. Um, I don't know what WWE is doing. Enzo and Cass are super over with the crowd and super over the fans, and they don't really have a big pay-per-view win yet, as far as I know. I don't want them to turn out like the Wyatts and keep losing over and over again in pay-per-views. That doesn't look good for what you maybe want to have as potential tag team champions, or at least contenders. But, that's just me. I don't even know why the club got a title shot over them anyway, but that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, match, meh. Book, the end of it was pretty shit. Then we get a pretty solid women's championship match between Charlotte and Sasha Banks. And Sasha just won the title off of Charlotte on Raw. And this is a good match. I like the match for the most part until the ending. Just this is a big problem with this card, with all of these matches, and with this entire show. Some good matches, some good stuff. Bad booking, bad endings that just ruin the match for me. It ruin the rewatchability factor of it, and just I don't. It just makes me just I don't. So anyway, Charlotte defeats Sasha Banks after Sasha Banks goes in and tries to get the submission maneuver on her, and I guess Charlotte's able to. While Sasha Banks has her submission maneuver cinched in, she was able to get Sasha Banks' shoulders on the mat and then get the pin and win the title off of her. Now, I remember reading, someone was telling me that the only reason why Sasha lost is because she was going to take a leave of absence or something in order to recover for some injuries that she had that was nagging her. And if that's the case, cool, that's fine. But why did she even get the belt to begin with if she knew that she was going to have to leave and recuperate or get some surgeries done or something? I don't understand it. She was on the shelf for a while until she came back and then won the title. I don't like this idea of having somebody win the title on Raw and then lose at the pay-per-view. It's pointless. Why? Why give them the title then on Raw when you can wait and give the title to Sasha or whoever in this sort of a scenario In this particular scenario, it's Sasha. Wait to give her the title at the next pay-per-view or something when she feels better. It delayed gratification for the fans instead of a very kind of a cheap pop where it's like, here's your title, you finally won it, and then you're not even going to be able to defend it because you're going to lose to Charlotte in the title match. I was just like, so that match was pretty good in terms of from a technical standpoint, but the ending was kind of a botch for me. Then we have a match that is just completely forgettable and also is another botched opportunity. It's the singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, The Miz versus Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews looks athletic, he looks great, he looks like he's primed to be put over, and he loses cleanly to The Miz. He lost clean to The Miz to a skull-crushing finale. What the fuck, WWE? What's up with this obsession with The Miz? He sucks. He was a shitty champion. He's not that great of an Intercontinental champion either. Why are you giving Apollo Crews a title shot at SummerSlam only for him to lose in a match that's only not even 6 minutes long? It was a complete waste of Apollo Crews, a waste of The Miz. If you think he's talented, you think he'd be able to carry a match for longer than 5 minutes and 45 seconds, because that's exactly how long the match was. It's a very short match. And it was just in one ear, out the other, forgettable, bad booking all the way around. Why are you bringing Apollo Crews up from NXT and making him look good on the main roster, only for him to lose to The Miz and clean in less than 6 minutes? If you ask me, Apollo Crews is a more talented, gifted wrestler than The Miz. The Miz is a good heel. He's good on the mic, but I've never been impressed with him in the ring. So after that, though, after pretty much 3 matches in a row that had fucking shitty booking and shitty endings or were forgettable, we had arguably the match of the night, and that is AJ Styles versus John Cena 2, the rematch. And this lived up to the hype. It was an epic match. It was spectacular. It was one of the best matches I've seen this year. It's definitely a match of the year candidate. And it was great to see my boy AJ Styles go over clean over Big Match John. AJ Styles pinned John Cena clean. Super Cena clean. After Cena gave him everything that he had, AJ took it and then delivered and beat Cena. I did not expect that. As a huge AJ Styles fan, it was a great cathartic, wonderful moment to see AJ go over John Cena at SummerSlam and beat him clean. No interference by the club, none of that. Cena beat him. I mean, Styles beat Cena fair and clear. You know, he beat him. I mixed my words because I still can't believe it. I still can't believe Styles beat Cena. It says, you know, I mean, you got to beat up John Cena, and it really is. It's a spectacular match. Fantastic match. And it's really a shame that this really bright diamond of a match is hidden in this shit pile of a pay-per-view. So if you only watch one match from this pay-per-view, watch this match. I'm not giving anything away because I don't want to. It's such a great match. You have to see it sometime. It's exciting, it's thrilling, it's 23 minutes, but it goes by pretty quick. There's all the drama you want, all the false finishes, all the, you know, ingenious ways of how they switch submission maneuvers around on each other, new move sets, and it's great. It's everything that you want out of a wrestling match from the WWE. It's a shame, though, that after that we had another Forgettable match that got fucked over by bad booking. It really is. It's a sham. SummerSlam was a SummerSham. Because you have the tag team championship bout between Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, which ended in a DQ. Why? Because Jon Stewart ran in and caused a disqualification. And then Big E comes back from his nut injury because because of his big thing that the Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are doing these cringe-inducing skits talking about Big E's balls. Vince has to be responsible for this because he's the one who's always obsessed with his giant grapefruits. So anyway, this match, lame, forgettable, and it makes me hate the New Day even more. I've never liked the New Day. Ever. I've never been a fan of the New Day. I don't understand the appeal. I really don't get it. And the fact that they are the longest running champions, I mean, they have the longest running title reign for a tag team champions over the Hardy Boys, over Edge and Christian, over the Road Warriors, over Demolition. I mean, those are all tag teams that are, in my opinion, 10 times better than the New Day. But for some reason, the New Day get the record. They get their name in the record books. I don't know why. The New Day, I didn't mind them as heels because I was supposed to hate them. They were irritating as hell, and I hated them because of that. And that made sense because I was supposed to. So they were great heels. But then they turned into faces, and I didn't get it. I was just like, I still hate them because I hated them before, and I still hate them now. Why are you trying to make me like them? And all of a sudden, I guess they exploded. People fell in love with booty-os and the New Day dressing up in bright colors and wearing glow-in-the-dark dildos on their heads. It was just very. I don't understand why this tag team is so over, especially with this gimmick. It's like a cartoon. It really is. But hey, if you like it, that's cool. To each their own. But I've never been a fan of the New Day. In my opinion, the whole thing was so cringe-inducing. The match ended with shitty booking. Before this match even happened, it was full of shitty booking, and the euphoria of having a great match was over pretty quick with a very lackadaisical, lazy, half-assed tag team match that ended with Jon Stewart getting involved and causing a DQ. And then Big E showing up, recovered, and beating up people. And then the New Day doing their annoying shtick where Big E's back and he's doing his dancing. And Xavier Woods is going, bleh, 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 with the fucking trumpet. They want to shove up his ass. And they're going, New Day rocks. And Jon Stewart is dancing. I'm just like, fuck this fucking tag team. New Day sucks! New Day sucks! And it's too bad because I like Kofi Kingston, I like Big E, and I like Xavier Woods, but I hate their gimmick. The gimmick I don't like it. It's stupid. It's not funny to me. It's just dumb. And they should have lost the titles. They've held it long enough. They've held those titles long enough. It's about time to lose them already. We need some new blood in the tag team division. This reminds me of when the Usos were dominating for months, and it's just the tag team division has gotten really stale because of it. You can't have one tag team completely just dominate for multiple months straight without any sort of competition. Unless it's somebody like the Road Warriors or Demolition, because they're actually badass. There's nothing badass about the New Day. But that's just my opinion. If you find them cool and you enjoy them, that's cool. I'm not a fan. So after that, we have the matchup for the WWE World Championship with Dean Ambrose going up against Dolph Ziggler. So Dean's defending his title in a match that was just boring. I like Dean. I love Dean. And I don't mind Dolph. I loved his performance in, I think it was Survivor Series a couple years ago. That was great when Sting made his debut in WWE. But this match was just, I don't know what it was. Maybe Dolph and Dean didn't really have styles that meshed well with one another. Dean, he did the best he could, but the crowd wasn't into it either. The crowd was dead. This is a dead crowd during this match, and I can see why. It was just boring. Dolph is he delivered a great promo before the match, but on SmackDown, but that doesn't mean anything because it was a pretty just forgettable bleh match that had the crowd falling asleep. And I gotta admit, I fast forwarded through some of it because it just didn't get any more exciting. It was just very bland and boring and dull and just who gives a shit. And Dean wins. He planted dirty deeds on Dolph and he retained his title. Then we have another match that I didn't give a shit about, featuring a six-woman tag team match, which went on way too long. Yeah, it was only 11 minutes, but it felt like it was 20. Featuring Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Bella, who was a replacement for Eva Marie because she got popped for violating the wellness policy. So they went up against the team of Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella. And it was just, why you have these women. I would have been fine if you just had the championship match with Charlotte and Sasha Banks. If you're going to have matches with these women from Raw and SmackDown, give them their own matches, not a six-woman tag team match. It wasn't very good. It was forgettable. And Nikki Bella gets over. And I understand she recovered from her neck injury. Good for her. But I never cared for her. I always thought she was an overrated wrestler. The only reason why she's getting over, the only reason why she's had so much success is because she's married to big match John himself, John Cena. So, yeah. And Becky Lynch once again loses. And I like her a lot. And to see her lose to a team with Natalya and Nikki Bella, it's really just kind of a slap in the face. So, it was just the Nikki Bella show. You can look, but you can't touch. I'd rather not touch, because she sucks so much. I'm afraid that she might suck my soul out of my body. She might give me an STD. So yeah, shitty, forgettable match. And the most memorable thing about it was Naomi's entrance, which is all day glow and black light and everything. So then we have the WWE Universal Championship match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. I'm going to say this. The title looks like shit. Since when was the WWE sponsored by Fruit by the Foot? Really, because it looks like the belt is made out of Twizzlers, or it looks like the women's championship belt with just a weird color scheme change. It just looks like shit. It's a terrible looking belt. The name was bad enough. Now we have a really terrible looking belt to go. That was the best design you could come up with? I highly doubt it. That's an ugly ass looking belt. But anyway, the match wasn't that ugly. I liked it. I thought it was a good match. It was the second match that I liked. But in retrospect, because of the events that happened during the match, it's not as it's not going to be as well remembered because of the injury that occurred in the match to Finn Balor. And speaking of Finn Balor, I like him. I think he's a great talent. I love his in-ring ability. He's got a great moveset. I'm not a fan of the Demon King persona. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just theatrics for the sake of theatrics for me. His entrance, I don't really care for. He shows up and he's crawling around on all fours with what looks like streamers on top of his head with his face all painted and he's growling. It's silly. It's not badass. I'm not shaking in my boots. It's supposed to be scary. The Demon King, and he's going around. He has streamers on his head, and he's crawling around on all fours and going rawr. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then his whole entrance, he looks like he's prancing around like a ballerina. There's nothing badass about that. He's badass when he gets in the ring, but before that, he's going around prancing on his tippy toes and doing this to the music and going like he's dancing Swan Lake or something. It's just I like Cirque du Soleil. I've seen multiple shows of Cirque du Soleil live, and I love the experience. But I don't want to see a wrestler running around like he's on Cirque du Soleil. I mean, it just doesn't just doesn't mix for me. It doesn't blend with me. And I don't see enough of a difference between Finn and Balor and the Demon King anyway. I mean, he's supposed to be more intense. It's supposed to be more violent and aggressive when he's the Demon King. But I don't really see it. I don't see much of a difference. He puts on the face paint and he wrestles pretty much the same as Finn does. He just has face paint on and body paint. But he still has the same finisher and all that kind of stuff. So, that's just me personally. I know a lot of people love the Demon King. I'm just not a fan of the Demon King. I might as well be the Burger King as far as I'm concerned. But the match itself was good. I liked the match. It was a nice matchup between Seth and Finn. The nice back and forth between the two. Finn goes over, which I didn't expect. And that looks pretty bad in retrospect now because Finn got hurt. And how did he get hurt? Well, Seth Rollins and his stupid power bomb again into the ropes. That's what retired Sting. And now that's what hurt Finn Balor and made him have to relinquish his title after he won it on SummerSlam. So that's what I mean. This match was good, but it doesn't have a lasting legacy. It doesn't have much rewatchability because the title reign was so short. Because it was a one-off match. It was basically a one-night stand. And that's too bad. And WWE needs to do something about that move. Please ban that move already. It's injured too many wrestlers. In fact, when Seth tried to do that move in a house show, that's why he fucked up his knee. And that's why he was out for a while. But I have to admit, when he was out for a while, it really made me learn to appreciate Seth Rollins. And as the old saying goes, you don't know what you got until it's gone. And I definitely do say, I can say I'm a Seth Rollins fan. And I was rooting for him to win this match because I thought it would be more appropriate for him to win than Finn, because Finn just got brought up from NXT. And I just think that looks bad for all the other NXT wrestlers who got brought up before Finn. I know Finn's a bigger name, but I think Kevin Owens deserved a title shot before Finn Balor. I think, maybe, I don't know about Sami Zayn, but maybe Sami Zayn. But I definitely KO. But no, Finn Balor gets a title shot before KO does. And he'd been in WWE and on the main roster for much longer than Finn had. But, maybe Kevin Owens doesn't put butts in seats as much as Finn Balor. So I guess I understand the decision making here by the booking. But it doesn't look that smart now because Finn got hurt and has to relinquish the titles. So now we're going to have a fatal four-way. And I'm just like, wow, it was kind of a pointless match. It would have been better to just have Seth win, so then you wouldn't have to deal with that. And you wouldn't have to deal with the kind of embarrassment and the kind of having Finn on Raw the next night after SummerSlam for a match that he won, basically say, I can't take the title. I have to go and get surgery, because I'm hurt. I mean, yeah. There's not much else I could say about it. But, if there's another match that I would recommend you watch out of this entire card, that's the other one. Regardless of how much the impact is lessened of it because of the fact that Finn got hurt enough, seriously bad enough in that match that he had to give up the title the next night. But I'll say this, Finn is one tough motherfucker because he got hurt, I think, earlier in the match or in the middle of it and still finished it. So kudos to Finn. And kudos to Seth Rollins for also putting on a really good match. That's where the good ends when it comes to the matches for this pay-per-view. Because then we have Rusev versus Roman Reigns, which ends in a no contest because they never fought, because Rusev attacks Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns just goes crazy and just beats the shit out of Rusev. That's it. If you wanted to see United States title match, you didn't get to see it. There you go. Didn't get to see it. So you've, once again, another example of piss poor fucking booking. People wonder why I don't pay to see pay-per-views. People wonder why I don't watch Raw and SmackDown every week. This is why. Same old shit. New era. No. Same old shit. And then we have the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. And this was a clusterfuck. This is just, I don't have many words to describe this. I am completely speechless to how this whole entire pay-per-view ended and how this match ended. So it starts out with Brock just dominating Randy Orton, suplex after suplex, like he did to John Cena in SummerSlam. And I'm like, we already saw this with John Cena. I didn't really want to see that again. But, you know, okay, all right. If it's going to go somewhere, okay. And they fight on the outside. And Brock's thinking about doing some deadly, F5 maybe on the table, the announce table. And Randy Orton gets an RKO out of nowhere and RKO's Brock on the table. Great move, great spot. Then Randy goes in and does his DDT. And, when he holds on to the rope, outside the ropes or in the ring, does a DDT on Brock then. So that was nice too. He even gets another RKO on Brock, but Brock kicks out. And I think Brock did an F5 of Randy too once, and Randy kicked out. So there's a nice little flow here. I didn't mind the match so far, but then it devolves into fucking randomness, where Brock just decides, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Randy Orton with my elbow, and busts him open. He's bleeding all over the place. And so they call the match off for a TKO. This is a match that's been 15 years in the making. This is the main event of SummerSlam, and it ends in a TK fucking O. What the? I want to TKO the fucking booker of this pay-per-view. What the fuck were you thinking? You're gonna end the SummerSlam? You're gonna end the event of the summer with a TKO? What the? Damn right I'm PO'd, but this TKO bullshit. But anyway, so Brock, there are many times, they try to get him to go away from Randy, but he keeps coming back and busts him open some more. And then then the crowd is chanting Goldberg. Goldberg, Goldberg. And I'm chanting Goldberg too, because I'm like, Goldberg. And I was thinking, that Goldberg is an advertisement to 2K17. He showed up in Germany and was talking about 2K17, WWE 2K17 in Germany. And he was saying that he's going to be in New York no matter what. So I'm thinking this is a perfect opportunity to have a run-in, to have a spot for Goldberg to come back. He comes out of the audience, spears the fuck out of Brock Lesnar. Not really Randy Orton. Spears the fuck out of Brock Lesnar. Gets him to get away from Randy. And everyone goes, so at least somebody goes home happy. Instead of nobody. No. He just grabs Shane McMahon when he tries to tell him to get out of there, and Brock F5 Shane McMahon. You could have had Goldberg come in then, because clearly now Brock has overstepped his boundaries, and he's crossed the line. So Goldberg could come in and spear him. No. The pay-per-view ends with Brock smiling like some demented freak and walking away. Yeah, I'm about it. And I'm just like, this is just stupendously fucking shitty booking, because this is right after Brock got popped for taking estrogen inhibitors or whatever, for cheating in the UFC, and the WWE has already said they weren't going to do anything about it because, for one, Brock is a part-timer, so apparently, because Brock is a part-timer, he doesn't have to follow the rules. And that rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way. And as you can see by the fan who was holding the sign saying "Got Juice," which is the best, was really one of the best signs in the crowd, you can tell that it rubbed them the wrong way. It pissed them off. And Brock, I love Brock, man. I love the whole thing where he's like, I don't give a shit about your kids. You know, I love Brock. He's a beast, but he's starting to sour on me. I've heard some stuff about in the backstage. He's not really getting along with other wrestlers. And then you have this shit. I know it's all fake. I know it's all set up. You know, the whole thing where he bludgeons Randy Orton so much that he makes him bleed. But you wait 15 years for this match, and it ends in a TKO. That's bullshit. No matter, that doesn't matter. It's still bullshit. You end an already disappointing, pretty fucking awful pay-per-view on the worst note you could possibly end it on, where nobody wins. Brock doesn't make Brock look good. It makes him look like a punk. Doesn't make Randy look good. It doesn't make the company look good. It's basically fuck you. It's remember when Brock Lesnar flipped off the fans at WrestleMania, you know, the WrestleMania where he fought Goldberg, and then everyone's like, this sucks because it was a pretty shitty match, and they're like, nah 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 nah, hey hey hey, goodbye. And Brock goes in and flips him off. That's pretty much what this SummerSlam was. Like I said, it's fuck you in the ass with no lube slam. Because Vince McMahon and Triple H don't give a shit about your kids or what you want. There's only 2 instances where it was, wow, a good, great match. An A+ match, match of the year candidate, AJ Styles versus John Cena, the rematch. Great match. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, entertaining, fun match. Rest of the fucking card is either forgettable or screwed by bad booking. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what else to say about SummerSlam or SummerSham, except thanks for watching my thoughts on SummerSlam. And as always, I will see you guys later. See ya.